Alright, welcome back everybody to Foul Play, that is Fantasy Overwatch League play. My name is HeebyGB. I am joined by my two favorite people in the whole world in this order. It is Tepoyama and A Smith. Good morning, you two, or evening. Let's not look behind the curtain of the podcast recording.
What?
Yeah, nobody can know when we're recording. The feds will not know when we record.
Yes, they've tried to trap us many a time, but we will not live stream this. How could we?
We have said several risque things. I wouldn't be surprised if
That's
the FBI
true.
tried to open up.
That's true. Honestly, I think it's less the FBI, more Deathblow being like, yeah, that's enough of you guys on the network. I'm just gonna delete this show. So he is our boss, and we love him very much. Okay, so today is episode 48, and we, as advertised, are doing a mock draft today with the three of us and 5 of our greatest friends and fans. We're going to be doing a draft to just kind of test. We're going to be talking about why we made our picks. We're not going to be playing in this league. This is just going to be one to demonstrate drafting because Overwatch League starts this coming weekend. So get your drafts in this week. On that note, I have made a couple of draft buff based drafts in the Discord right now that you can join. I'm going to be making some high noon ones in the next day or so. And if any of these drafts fill up, I'm just going to be making more. So go into our Discord at High Noon Podcast. Something Discord, whatever. Go to the High Noon Podcast Discord. If you're listening to this, you're probably already in there. And then go to the Fantasy League Formation channel and make a league of your own. Find one of the ones that we've made and join up. So we'd love to play with you. So
Yep.
check that out.
And remember, if you use Draft Buff, use our referral code.
Yeah, definitely. When you're signing up, use the code FOWLPLAY, all caps, no spaces, and support the show just a little bit. And that'd be really awesome. So thank you. But yeah, so today we're doing the draft, the mock draft. The league starts this weekend. Very excited. But we do have a couple of very important news things to talk about. Now, first off, we have the announcement of hero pools coming to Overwatch League. We are going to talk about that, but I want to talk about the more important news first. Teppo, Yama, and I have finally decided our bet of who we think is going to score more points overall in the fantasy season between Jerry and Logix. Now, this was a listener-suggested bet, so thank you very much. But we are going to be doing the Waffle House Challenge.
Jerry!
Jerry is trash. Anyway, Teppo, why don't you explain what the Waffle House Challenge is for listeners who had no idea, because I was one of those people with no idea.
So, the bet is officially titled... The Legend Can Only Grow, the story of the Snowshoe Squad and Team Tinfoil, the mighty Jerry versus ... Logix.
Okay.
And the bet is the Waffle House Challenge, Waffle House adjacent challenge, where there's an establishment called Waffle House apparently that is open 24 hours and you can eat waffles.
I've never heard of it.
And you have to spend, the loser of this bet, aka the Logix supporter, will have to sit in a Waffle House or a similar place that serves waffles 24 hours for 24 hours, and every waffle that they eat takes an hour off of that time. So
yeah. You get to eat 24 waffles in 1 hour sitting.
23.
23. Yeah, that's true.
You can eat 23 and then you're only there for an hour. It's perfect.
Easy peasy.
Yeah. And this is not a Coach Carter thing where somebody else can eat these waffles for you.
Okay.
Right.
No.
And no syrup allowed.
No, what? Damn. I'm getting fried chicken on mine.
Butter is a no-go.
Oh, well, only for health concerns. Yeah. Fair enough. Okay, so, yeah, you just heard the delusional Tepoyama talking to you about the rules. Like I said, we said Waffle House adjacent just because I don't know of any in Chicago.
I guarantee you there's a Waffle House in Chicago, and it's probably open even though it's been snowed out. Everything is closed due to snow, and Waffle House is open.
Well, we have a ton of 24-hour diner, like breakfast diners, but I don't know if we have like the specific Waffle House
Love the
brand.
Spiffle. The
Here's
London
here's
Spiffle
the
are
deal.
my favorite team.
If you've never been to a Waffle House, you might just need to go because it is an experience all in itself.
Oh, but I have the
I'm
golden
gonna Google
nugget
it.
that I get to go to that I'm so excited about. But okay, well, that bet we will be keeping you updated as the season goes on, so keep a lookout for that if you were at
Oh, is
all
it called
interested.
American Waffle House?
I don't
Is
know.
that the full name? I don't know.
I'm not
But
Pretty
informed.
sure it's just Waffle House.
I think
Okay.
I'll have to do IHOP.
But that being said,
Whatever.
the other less important piece of news is Hero Pools adding to the Overwatch League starting on March 7th. So we have around a month worth of play before they are entering. They're not being implemented for playoffs or grand finals or the mid-season tournament. But basically, I think it's every week we are going to have one tank, one support, and two DPS banned for any teams. They're not allowed to play them. And then the teams will know 1 week in advance what the next bans are going to be. A. Smith, why don't you give me your thoughts on Hero Pools first?
Well, this is a very, very important thing for fantasy, I think, because this could sub out players who are primarily one tricks, or who are Ryan specialist, or Winston specialist, or whatever, or Diva specialist. I mean, you can see a lot of flex and change here because of people who aren't flexible. But for players such as Shore4 who literally play everything,
Yeah.
it's probably a serious boost.
Yeah, it's an upgrade for
so
those flex gods for sure.
Yeah, Jerry.
For God's sakes.
Oh, but I mean, the deal is, it's like, I don't even know how to feel about this. Like, is this good for the integrity of the league? I don't know.
Okay.
I thought Overwatch was gonna wait until there were more heroes in the game to do something like this, but it's honestly like I'm pretty excited for it. It just forces meta shifts a little quicker. I would have been happier with them just doing faster patches, as they've said they're going to do.
Yeah,
They
they're
said they're
also
gonna do
doing so.
they're gonna do more aggressive, more frequent patches as well as hero pools. I'm not sure it's necessary, but it's fine, and it's fun. It's like a fun wrench to throw in fantasy. I think it'll be really fun for daily fantasy in particular, where you're like, oh, this week I can play blank, who I haven't had a chance. Yeah, I can play Chipsa for the first time. The bidding war commences.
Oh, we all know first round draft pick is picking Chipsa today, but
But yeah, no, it definitely helps for the really flexible teams, and like like a team like the Philadelphia Fusion, who do have Chipsa, like they also just have a bunch of players who can play different roles, so it'll be interesting to see how teams manage this.
Yeah, I think overall, I think it's a good. So I think hero bans were a really good idea for the competitive state of the game to move into. I think if they gave the teams the power to make hero bans in matches, it could just never mirror the ladder. Like, I just don't think there was ever going to be a good way to add hero bans into like your competitive queue on like for the average fan. Like, I don't think. Like, I don't know how your team would vote to like make that happen. Like, it just seems like a little too convoluted. So
do they do that in League?
yeah, so League you do. But in
Ranked,
League,
you do it.
yes, but in League you're one hero for the whole game, and you can't mirror. So like, there's a lot of there's like a lot more to it. And there's also 140 characters in League, or 150.
Yeah,
now,
exactly. I don't know if it makes sense for ranked just yet. Like, people have a hard enough time learning more than one hero by themselves.
Yeah,
Not
I'm
people
fine
like
with the.
the Jerry disciples. We know every hero, but a lot of people I know have trouble with that. So
Yeah, it's
hero
true.
bans wouldn't really make sense in comp yet.
Yeah, well,
I mean, it just forces flexibility for
Yeah.
everybody, and if you can't be flexible, but I think what's going to happen is people are going to stop playing the game for a week and be like, I'm a Mercy one trick, Mercy's banned, I'm out.
Yeah, it could be. I think I'm excited to play with the hero pools. I think it'll be interesting. But what I'm actually really interested in terms of fantasy is basically the week that Lucio gets banned. I really want to know what that does to the support landscape.
It's either Baptiste or Mercy.
Right, but like if it's Baptiste Zen all the time, then I wonder if main support's fantasy points will actually like go up in stocks really well. And like, will Mercy see a lot of play? Like, but if Mercy and Widowmaker are banned at the same time, or like if Lucio and Widowmaker are banned at the same time, then Mercy will probably see a ton of play, which then main support stock will go down. So I think like, and also it has been not officially announced, but like all but confirmed that it will be released to the public a week in advance when these hero picks or what hero bans are happening. Hasn't been released, but the rumor has been very strong. Can you not hear? Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, am I back?
This
Yes.
is good.
Am I back?
Agreed. Yes.
Okay,
You're
okay,
back.
cool. Sorry, my mic has been having a bit of an issue today, but so we're back. So that is our hero pools. Any more thoughts on it, guys? Like, especially if it comes in terms of fantasy.
No, but one thing we'll probably, once it takes effect, we'll probably have to add a segment to the show, to the weekly show, which we've already talked about the format of last week. But we'll probably have to add a segment where we talk about how the hero pool affects teams for each week.
I have one question.
Shoot.
What's gonna be banned the first week?
Yeah, that's interesting. Well, I mean, we have a whole month of play, and they said that they use the word random, which is ridiculous, but they said it's going to be based off of what's seen a lot of play. So I think the first month will kind of show us and be like, okay, they're going to be banning that.
It's not in effect for the first month.
No, and March 7th is when
I
it goes into.
I guess I didn't read it all the way through.
Yeah, March 7th is when it comes into the league. So it's going to be a little bit, but my bet is like May gets banned out the gate as like one of the DPS.
Sigma.
May, Sigma potentially. I was thinking Orisa.
Reaper.
I was thinking they probably banned Orisa initially, but
Orisa's too nerfed now anyway.
yeah, well, I mean, she's still seeing play. Who knows? Also, new Diva feels freaking awesome. As an off-tank player,
so
like,
fun to
I
play around.
love playing Diva right now. Okay, but that is our, like, topics of discussion. But let's get into the real meat and potatoes of today. Yes, as you are showing, I also have it up on the stream. We are going to be doing a mock draft on Draft Buff. So if you're watching on YouTube, you can actually see the screen, but we'll also be just like talking about it as the draft happens for you podcast listeners. So I'll do my best to kind of play-by-play the draft. Just before we get into it, the bots are filling all these other spots, so like, or these bots, these other random people that we have in this league are going to be filling the spots. We're doing an 8-man draft with 11 rounds, so we're doing 2-2-2 and 1 captain slot, and then we are doing a 4 bench spots. Yeah, a bench of 4. So pretty big league. But we'll talk about that. So first round draft pick goes to one of the randoms in our league. Tepoyama has our second draft pick, as you're just need to be aware. I have the 4th round draft pick. My team is Jerry Blows, if you are wondering what my team name is. And A. Smith has round 6 draft. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Pick 6. He doesn't draft. He'll draft in the first round. Fortunately.
Sorry. Yes, I'm using the wrong terminology here.
Unfortunately, what is the problem here?
Yeah.
I want all of the picks.
Yes, exactly.
But yeah, so peek behind the curtain. We're just gonna auto draft for the other people.
Wow.
Since
yeah.
And then we can just go through the rationale for every pick. That way we can spend a little bit more time on our picks.
Yeah, exactly.
So for the first pick, let's see who they get. Using Draft Buff's rankings, it's Jonak, which is honestly just a smart pick, so I'm going to do that for them.
Okay, awesome. So, yeah.
I think everybody's pretty convinced that there's a top 3 in drafts this year, and that's Jonak, Violet, and Shu. So I'm actually
Shaz?
I mean, not Shu. Am I bugging? Yeah, Shaz. And so I'm actually very happy because at pick 2, I can get Violet, who's my number 1 anyway.
Okay, nice.
So I'm going to go ahead and draft Jerry.
Oh God! Oh no!
No. I took Violet, and now the next one goes to a bot. Is that a bot or a rando? Is their name Jerry 2020?
Oh God!
Interesting. Okay, this is something This is Draft Buff's rankings have Shu at third here. Personally, I disagree with it. I think we should give them Shaz instead of Shu.
This is a crime.
But-
I hate this. I hate every part of
All right,
this.
fine.
It only makes sense to have him draft
No,
Shaz. Like,
God.
Shaz is,
Why? Why would you do
Shaz,
this to me?
Shaz is the top 3 pick.
Oh.
Chaz is a top 3 pick.
All right.
Are you happy to circumvent
No,
Draft Buff's rankings?
It's not me making these picks. It's Jerry 2020. So whatever
All right,
Jerry,
Jerry 2020 is taking
whatever
Shaz
Jerry
for sure.
2020 would pick.
All right. So the first
take
3 are off the
Jerry.
board. It's Jonak, Violet, and Shaz. It should
Okay.
be the same in every league.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I think those
different
3.
order.
Exactly. So it's coming to my pick now, the 4th round draft pick. I'm gonna be picking a support, obviously, because we need one, and they're going fast apparently. So for my first pick of the draft, I am going to be taking. I want to take a bit of a risk here, actually. I'm gonna.
Says he takes Alarm.
I'm taking Alarm,
Yes.
actually. Yes.
So it's got to be Alarm.
So I'm putting a lot of stock in the rookie, especially because I think Fusion is going to be so strong this year. I think they only benefit from hero pools. I think EQO is like a monster. I'm definitely putting some stock in Philly, and I'm definitely putting stock in Alarm with my first pick of the draft. So
into it. The next one goes to somebody else, and I guess we'll follow their rankings. It's Shu.
Okay, so
I'm a little Shu is in this next tier of flex support. I wouldn't say he's this high, but he is.
I think he is
so
that high.
Fine.
He doesn't have anyone gunning for his spot, and he's like on Charge, which have a lot of like preseason stock right now. So I would say it makes sense.
True. All right, yeah. So Shu it is.
Okay.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Brings us to A-Smith's pick.
Ooh, my pick. You know what? I am not going to take a support first round.
Whoa.
No way.
A-Smith's feeding.
Because for me, I mean, I'm looking at the next level of supports, and I feel like they're all relatively close to the same level.
Okay.
You know what? I changed my mind. I'm taking. There's one support that I like here that's left, and that's gonna be Twilight.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I was like, man, am I gonna get Twilight on the swing back? This is wild. Okay.
I mean, I would have the swing back before you would. So.
Okay,
yeah,
so
I'm
just
gonna go ahead and say Twilight because I think he's the last support on that level.
Yeah,
I don't think there are
the
any other
only
supports.
question with him is if they get desperate for money and they want Ryu Jae-hong to get some playtime just for the views.
Yeah, my choice was between Alarm. So just actually, I'll recap the draft once we go through all 8 players. So yeah, go ahead for Team Tinfoil.
All right, we're on to the next one, aka Team Tinfoil, and Team Tinfoil with the auto draft gets Bebe.
Okay.
Which is honestly a good pick. He's in that next tier of flex support, and he's pretty elite.
Coldest.
Yeah,
that's
the
question
risks.
with him. All right, and then now we're on to a bot's name that I can't understand. It says something like Jerry is so hot.
It is not. It is not. They can see the visual. It says Hebe is so hot in all caps.
Here, interesting. So the auto draft wants them to pick a DPS and go Prophet, which I think is a good pick for the top DPS. I'll go ahead and do it, although I think realistically in drafts, like even getting somebody in the second tier of flex supports is worth more than the top tier of DPS. But
if you're playing with a utility spot, especially, even so, because I think when you get that chance to play them in there. So, okay, that makes sense.
Prophet goes there, and then at the turn.
Well, hold on. Before we do the turn, let's just recap the draft. So, for the first round of our draft, in order, picked was Jonak, Violet, Shaz, Alarm, Shu, Twilight, Bebe, and then Prophet. So yeah, let's swing it back. So yeah, Hebe is so hot is next up again.
And then here, so I think we should probably circumvent the
Yeah, that's fine.
the rankings again, because it doesn't really make sense to take 2 DPS in a row, and that's that's why you don't want to auto draft, is because you'll be stuck like not
Mhm.
picking for roles. You'll be stuck just going off of what they say.
Yep.
So this is also suggesting a tank as the next one up after DPS,
Okay.
which honestly we could go that way just to see what their roster looks like at the end. And then the
Yeah, I think
top
it's fine.
tank that they have rated is Fury,
Okay.
which makes sense. Like Poco is really good, but Fury is kind of like a different breed of player, so he's likely to get the most playing time on that team.
Mhm.
So going ahead and drafting Fury.
Okay.
So that person got Prophet and Fury at the turn. And then we're on to Team Tinfoil, who had Bebe in the first round. And then now they would get Hawksall DPS for the Titans. Honestly, I think a really good pick. I actually like how highly he's ranked.
I think Hawksall, especially from hero pools being implemented, I keep saying that again and again, but I do think his flexibility is going to show here. It's going to be sweet.
Yeah.
All right, A Smith, it's your pick. Talk to us. What are you getting?
All right, I think I'm gonna roll with Erster. I think he is a top level DPS pick, and he's probably one of the very few that will be able to be flexible enough to go just all out here. I'm not necessarily in the camp that I have to like go all flex supports so quickly, because I think there will be some in later rounds that you can pick that will have value.
Okay.
All right. I dig it. So that's you got Erster. So then the next one goes to a bot who got Shu in the first round, and then this is telling them to go grab Gangnam Jin. I'm actually surprised that Gangnam Jin is ranked so high among the flex supports, but I will trust their rankings and go ahead and give them the auto drafted gang. So bada bing, bada Jin. All right, then now we are on to a team that I can't read the name of.
All right, Jerry blows us up. That's my team. I am going to choose another support for this round, and I took kind of a risk on the last one. I don't want to take as much, but I'm kind of waffling between Dogman or Izayaki for this pick. I'm trying to get another support locked up, but both of them have questions of playtime, but I think Dogman's is a bit more secure because they just has Kodak behind him, and Izayaki just has Luffy behind him.
Yeah, I don't know if Kodak is really a threat.
Exactly.
We saw this play out last year.
Luffy versus like Kodak
Izayaki.
is not a
Well,
yeah.
So yeah, that makes me.
One person's competition is a lot stronger than the others.
All right, well you've convinced me. I'm drafting Dogman for my second
Son of
pick.
a gun. Great pick, but it makes my next pick a lot easier.
Okay,
I'm
good.
getting the man, the legend, Kareev.
Okay.
Oh, it's not me. It's not me yet. It's not me.
All your team names are so similar.
No. Oh, okay. Well, so this goes to Jerry 2020, who got Shaz in the first round,
Okay.
and then it has Aim God.
Okay, cool.
The auto draft has Aim God going to them. Aim God's a good pick here. I think Aim God's going to play really well this season. I think his aim is actually elite. So I like that. And there's no Persia vying for his playing time now that Persia is playing Apex Legends and left the league. So yeah, they get Aim God and Shaz.
Okay.
Open the door for me now to get. Whoa! Come here. All right. Where is Kareev? Why is he? There we go. I love this pick. I think like one, Kareev is really fun to root for just because he is hilarious. And then two, he has no competition for playing time here, which has always been the problem for him. Like originally with Kareev, the problem was that he was playing DPS or support. You never really knew what he was going to play, and his playtime was confusing. Then he lost his role to Izayaki. But then now, like, I think we've seen with Kareev, his aim is obviously nutty. He might be the best. He might have like just the best headshots of any support in the league.
Ooh,
Seeing his Widow play.
Shu is rolling right now. It's not true. But anyway,
All right,
continue.
I don't know. Kareev is nasty, and there's literally no other flex support on that team, so I'm very happy with that.
Okay.
Good pick.
Cool.
And then now we're on to the Play Dia You Cowards team, who will be at the turn. And then so the first
He's
they
like a
picked
2-way contract, by the way.
Jonak first. Oh, and then this is actually going to round out their roster. The auto draft has them getting Carpe and then Janu. Those are
Oh
actually
shoot!
nasty
That's
Those
a
picks.
that's a
good
huge
team.
draft team. This draft team's
Wow.
doing well. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Just so you know, picking
So-
number 1, big bonus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Also, yeah. Big draft
front-loading
tip. Be
team.
first round.
Be first pick, not first
Yeah.
round.
Exactly.
Everybody
I
on
keep
first
saying
round.
round. I'm sorry. Yeah. Be first pick.
So at this point, there's 4 DPS off the board, 2 tanks off the board,
Mhm.
and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 supports. And then it comes back to me, and I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna get another flex support.
Dang.
For this one, I
Oh,
can't
yeah.
really decide. Like I'm just confident enough in the in being able to find DPS
That are adequate. Yeah.
later. So I would want to get one more of this kind of top tier of flex support or second tier of flex support. And I think so my decision making here is between Bebe, Unko, Myungbong, Kyo,
already-
and Gray.
Bebe's already picked.
Bebe is not in my decision making.
Hmm.
Unko, you know what? I'm just gonna go Unko.
Okay.
Another guy who just like is more concerned with fragging than he is with healing, and that's very fun.
Yeah.
He's ranked
Oh,
so
do I want
low, though.
DPS? All right, 1 second. Reevaluate. Time
Okay.
to reevaluate.
Yeah. Also, just so we're aware as hosts, I think when we should go into our picks in depth and the like others in our draft not as in depth, just as for
Yeah.
sakes of time. But
Yeah, just good to give some overview.
sure.
Okay, I'm gonna go. Oh, I hate this. All right, in case there's a run on tanks, I'm just gonna go. I think like tank is a mess this year.
Mhm.
There's only like about 12 flex tanks that I'm super comfortable with, and
Yeah.
even of those, I'm not very comfortable with many. So I'm gonna go with. Oh, I hate it. I hate it so much. I'm gonna go with Choi Yobin.
Oh wow, okay. That makes my next pick easier. So that's
You
nice.
hate taking
Yeah.
Choi Hyo Bin? Really?
Yeah, because Hebe always talks about his Sigma losing out and like them playing Super Smurf, and I kind of wanted to take one of the top DPS, but Choi, he just his playing time feels locked up. And
I
he's on
think
the
I
best
think with
team in
this
the
most
league.
recent patch, I think it's definitely locked up now. Like I
Yeah,
don't think
so
anyone's competing.
I'm happy with the pick. You know, it's but I wish I could pick like 5 players just now.
Yeah, yeah. This
All
is
right.
when
Don't
the
we all?
draft gets scary. When it's not like,
Yeah.
okay, I just picked the best flex support. Like now it's like, well, now I have some decision making to happen. I think rounds
All right.
3 and 4 of Overwatch League drafts are by far the most important rounds.
Yeah. Now we're on to the Shaz Aim God team, and they get space
Okay.
with the auto draft. Good pick.
Ugh, that was going to be my next pick.
Ton of
so
playing time. I was thinking about
Mhm.
him as well.
yeah.
And then now we're on to a team whose name I cannot read.
Yeah, this is back to Jerry Blows. This is me. I currently have Dogman and Alarm on my team so far. Tanks are like I'm when I see the tanks dropping like they have been thus far, that does make me really worried. And so I am going to be picking up one of those as well, but just which one is kind of a difficult choice. Man, I think I am going to take. I didn't take Izayaki before. I'm going to take Void now. I'm going to grab a Shanghai Dragon and put him on my team. I'm pretty confident in him, especially with Envy leaving, which I never thought that Envy would have the playtime anyways. But I'm pretty confident in Void getting 100% playtime, and I think he's a good tank. So I'm throwing him in.
Fair enough.
All right, I dig it. Yeah, I think that's a fun pick. The next one is a pick that I was really hoping would drop to me. Auto draft, they get Jinmu. So right now they have Jinmu, Shu, and Gangnam Jin, and I just think Jinmu is like such an underrated DPS going into this season. He's ranked highly by Draft Buff, but a lot of people don't have him that ranked that highly, and I think he could really provide like top 3 value by the end of the season. So that's a great pick.
If Hanzo or
Now we're
Ferris
on
stays
to,
meta, yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I guess we'll see.
He's pretty nutty on projectile.
Hanzo Ferreira gets banned a week 1. Rip.
Yeah, that it's rough.
Yes. All right, A. Smith.
All right.
What's happening?
I think I am going to go with Tank here with guaranteed playtime because he's the only one on that team. And I'm going to go with Grong.
Okay.
From the Guangzhou Charge. Guaranteed playtime. They don't have a main. They only have 2 tanks, period, on their team, right?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, so those 2 guys are playing. I think the Charge are going to be pretty decent. So throw in a decent player with guaranteed playtime on a decent team.
That's huge.
Yeah. I dig that. It's a good pick.
Feels like free pain. 50 points.
Then the next one goes to Team Tinfoil, and their auto draft gives them Corey. Also a really good pick, I think underrated going into this year since he's pretty much guaranteed to have the 1 starting spot, and then the other spot will be either rotated or eventually taken by whoever their new signing is.
So they have Bebe, Hacksaw, Corey now. Pretty impressive.
Wait, oh yeah, they do. Oh yeah, I think Tuba will probably take that spot from Stratus as the season goes on, but for now, Corey obviously just has his spot locked up.
Yeah. Hit scan legend.
All right, Heebs.
Yep,
it's your time.
He is so hot.
This is not you. This is
my biggest fan. Yes.
All right, and then so they're at the turn, and they get Decay and Rhea at the turn.
Nice.
Both really good picks. The Decay one is betting on him to get more playing time than
Zachary?
than the Dallas Fuel have allowed people to get in the past because they're weird. But then the Rhea pick is really good because there's no other off tank on that team.
Yeah, that's fair.
So at the end of the 3rd round, the 3rd round went Janu, Choyobin, Space, Void, Jinmu, Krong, Corey, Decay. So you see that there can be a run on kind of tanks and DPS at after the first couple rounds. And then at the turn, who does our dear friend get? Another tank. They get Hawk from the Atlanta Reign, who's ranked highly here. People are really high on him. So we'll see how he does. But wait, what the? There we go. All right.
All right, A. Smith.
Smith it is.
All right, I am going to go ahead and grab my second support. I've been debating back and forth. I've got 3 different guys I'm debating, 4 different guys I'm debating with. I think I'm going to go ahead and grab, I kind of want to grab FOWL or Izayaki, but I think I'm going to go with the guaranteed play time. That is
Ungo.
Oh, it's not right.
Literally hate drafted Teo.
So that is what I'm doing.
Okay.
If it'll let me do it. It just makes more sense to grab the guaranteed play time, and I think that the Fuel are going to be better than people think they are.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. And Unkos, I think, is just better than people have assumed that he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't believe so, but we'll see.
Speaking of the Fuel, the next pick is an auto-drafted note.
Interesting.
So we'll see if Diva ever gets banned from the hero pool.
Yep. And then rip. Yeah, I mean, there's not enough tanks for them all to be not banned, right?
All right, Heaves, you're back up.
Okay, so I'm back up. I really wanted to pick a DPS this round, but tanks are going by really fast, which is making me worried that I won't end up with someone like half decent. But I actually think I'm going to pick up my 3rd flex support so that I can run him in my utility slot. I am going to nab Bedosin of the Soul Dynasty.
Okay.
I think Bedosin is a lock for playtime over top of creative, and so I think he's a good pick. He's also like a fragger, which in terms of fantasy points is usually better. That being said, draft buff does account for deaths. It does subtract for deaths, so that is an important thing to keep in mind. But I do think that he's going to be good.
No doubt. no doubt. Next one is an auto draft, and they get Nero from the charge.
That's a solid
Um,
pick, like a good
yeah, it's a
DPS.
solid pick. It's a little weird to me. The Nero hype, like he's really flashy and he does a ton of work when he's playing, but I just think he's inherently a rotation player rather than the regular starter.
Mhm.
You know, so like personally, I would be going for Happy before him, just because I feel like Happy's playing time should be more locked up.
Yeah, it's true.
Um,
Projectile does usually score more than hit scan, but so that is something to keep in mind. But we'll see.
yeah. All right, boop, boop, boop. Unless you're a nasty hit scan, in which case you score the most.
Sure.
For my next one, right now I have Choyobin, Violet, and Kariv. So I could take a DPS or I could um, get a third flex support. But looking at the DPS, I kind of have hmm. You know what? Since I'm pretty close to the turn, I'm gonna go ahead and grab. I'm gonna take Godsby.
Okay.
Okay.
I think Godsby is pretty nasty
I think he's got a redemption
and
arc coming
underrated.
this way. So
This draft buff thing says that he was a top performing DPS in season 2,
it is. That's
which, if
insane.
anything, speaks to his playing time. Like they just trust him on everything. They made like no changes this season, this off season. So
He
I just
probably also
don't want
never
to get.
shot barriers with his Zarya beam.
Yeah.
Screw it. I just shoot people.
I just yeah, Godsby's really good. He's on a team that's a mid to high tier,
Mhm.
and that playing time you can't bet against. So
That makes
he
sense.
just kind of cements that spot for me. And then the next group is the next draft spot is at the turn, and I think their support spots are taken up now. No, they're not actually. All right, so they get EQO and then Sinatra at the turn. I think these rankings are a little silly.
They
I'm
have
not
EQ
sure.
and Carpe. That's a fun.
Yeah, that's
They're
pretty
going all in
jokes.
on infusion.
They honestly, we could have changed something up for them, but they have one of each role, so we might as well just let the auto draft rock.
Yeah.
Sinatra and EQO both have a ton of playing time concerns this season since they
Mhm.
just have so many talented DPS on their roster. If either of them was on the Washington Justice, we would be like they would be guaranteed top picks.
Yeah, I think it might be a
Um,
flavor of the week kind of setting with San Francisco Shock players. Just, I mean, I think hero pools will make that even more so. It's like, well, all right,
mhm.
it's like now we have to play this character, so Sinatra get in there, or Striker's like I can play Tracer, his stars glow
Tracer.
in his eyes. So also
And
I think
Sinatra
Tracer's pretty
and
decent.
Sinatra goes, "Not today." No.
Yeah, the most it's the DPS line is Striker Sinatra, and they hack the game to play double Tracer. Go back to the beta days.
All
Good
right,
time.
so for this next pick,
And this
I'm
is
kind
your
of in an
pick, right? Yeah.
this is my pick.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I'm in an interesting spot here where I have one DPS, one tank, and two supports, and I'm really confident in all of them. Um, there's there's about three there's about three DPS that I'm really keen on, and two tanks and three support. So like this last tier that I'm happy with in each role is kind of diminishing.
Hmm.
So it's kind of a tough spot where I have to decide if I'm trying to just up my top end or up my baseline. So if I up my top end, I'll go for a flex support like Kyo,
Hmm.
Myungbong or Gray, and if I go for a tank, it's going to be Michelle or Meko, and a DPS is probably going to be. I shouldn't say any of the names just in
Yeah,
case. These
exactly.
guys are thieves.
I am. I
Um,
am known to be a thief, or at least Asmith is.
so
What?
Took Unco. You took Unco as a thief.
You know what? I'm a Dallas Fuel player. I'm a Fuel fan first, so there
For
you go.
blue.
I'm pretty far away, and I'd rather just lock down my utility slot. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab a Kyo.
Okay.
All
Nice.
right.
Oh, or repel.
Ooh.
I don't know. It's tough. I wish I had the confidence to get Myeonbong here, but I'm just not sure that I do. Why is this not letting me do this?
Life, man.
Where's Kyo ranked? Oh, there we go. Oh, This is saying Molly could earn playing time over him. Who is Molly?
It's, another Chinese player. He was like one of the best in the Chinese contender scene.
I don't like
Second
that.
coldest.
Here's the other thing we have to think about. I don't know if these Chinese teams are going to be able to get out of China for the first.
All right,
we'll see.
I'm pivoting. I'm going with the French king himself on Paris. I'm taking Gray.
Great.
You know he's not French, right?
Yeah, he's definitely not.
But he plays for the French team.
They assimilated
That's
him.
what counts.
The Portuguese French king.
All right, it's Jerry 2020's pick.
All right, and then so Jerry 2020, their auto draft gives them
Is it Myanmar?
Izayaki.
Izayaki.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I forgot he was still.
I'm surprised that Izayaki fell this late. I mean, round 5, that seems crazy to me.
That's pretty low for Izayaki.
I thought about it. I just think Luffy is good. So it's kind of a tough spot for me. The next one is
It's my turn. I'm up.
Yeah.
So to review my team, I have Void, Alarm, Dogman, and Bedosin. So I'm definitely good on my supports. So the question I have is, do I want to find a DPS that I think is top tier? Because like a lot of those ones are already gone. And I think the ones that
Still a few.
Yeah, there's like a couple that I think could fall back to me that I really want, but no, I'm going to lock him up. I'm worried he's not going to come back around, so I'm going to grab Libero of the New York Excelsior.
Yeah, go ahead. Have him.
Yeah.
I don't want him.
Yeah, I actually just bumped him down my rankings this morning because I figured that DPS lineup is just confusing. I think Libero is just like the most versatile player in the league, but still, it's too confusing over there.
Yeah.
Well, so much.
I have what's called courage, and so I'm choosing Libero because I think hero pools only benefits him. I think being a Swiss Army knife is going to be a really big deal on this team. And I think he'll be strong. I mean, like, who are you is the one competing him for playtime, right? So.
Yeah, and who are you is going to get the Genji time?
Really yeah, that was. I immediately regret that.
The next one is an auto draft, and this just makes sense. It's going to be Repel.
Okay.
I think that like getting Repel in what round is this?
5.
The 5th round could be huge value if they decide to just like turn Raucus into a player coach who's not actually playing, and Repel gets all of the playing time, then this could be really good. Just seeing like, Meko knows how to play with the flex support, as we saw with Jonak, and he knows how to enable his flex support more than anything. So that could be a really good pick.
Sure.
Speaking of Meko, that's who I am taking in the next round.
Yeah, that's who I was thinking.
Next pick, because I think he's really the last real flex support tank that's gonna nab you some points that's left. So I know there's still plenty of DPS options, and I'm pretty close to the turn here, so I think I'm gonna get some players that I like.
There's one other flex tank, but exactly. I'm too far away to say his name.
I'm wondering if it'll swing back to me or not. We'll see.
I want him to swing back to me. All right, so then we're on to the next auto draft. Meko's just a great pick there. There's no way Cool Matt gets played.
Oh, I see who it is.
I mean, Cool Matt's literally off the team, but yes.
There's literally no way. Do they still have Spree? Whoever
yes,
they
do have Spree. Yes.
Spree comes in Zarya only.
All right, Team Tinfoil just gets Myeonbong at the auto draft. Myeonbong's a really fun pick this season. He's kind of like he's in that like kind of Izayaki, Luffy, Violet tier of last year, where you don't really know what they're going to be until they start playing, but they showed signs of popping off in contenders. So Myeonbong's a really fun pick there. And then the last one they draft at the turn, and they get Lastro and Creative. I think those are both kind of weird picks, personally.
I think Lastro's fine. I think Creative's bad, but whatever. Again, we're auto drafting, and we just need to like move this thing along.
Yeah.
So.
That's right. And then we do move along, and it goes back to Team Tinfoil, who this is also weird. Our boy Dulky or D-Hulky has some fun rationale for some of this stuff, but Molly going ahead of some of these people is a little strange. So that's Molly, and then we're back to A. Smith.
And I am taking my pick for Rookie of the Year this year. That is my guy, Leave.
Oh wow! Okay.
Needed to round it out. I think he's so flexible. I think he's going to cover enough bases here that that Chengdu he will round out Chengdu and always be in. I just don't see anybody taking his spot.
So you see Jinmu leave as like the DPS duo for this team?
I think that's should be a certainty.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't really like. I think Jinmu's got or Leave has a better tracer than Bacon Jack, and then maybe if Bacon Jack wants to go on as Widow Specialist, I don't remember Leave's Widow, so that would be the only my only thought.
Cool.
Got you. Yeah. That's that's what's fun about fantasy. You get to pick your guys. The next one is an auto draft, and this could be a steal. They get Glister, who was
if London
kind
doesn't
of like
feed their
one of
brains
the
out.
last of my kind of top DPS tier. And then now we're on to
back to me. So I am going to be choosing. This is the tank that I was hoping would swing back to me. I am going to be taking Nevix from the Toronto Defiant. Is that not who you were thinking of, Tepoyama?
No, did my person get taken?
I'm surprised.
Maybe. Yeah, I'm wondering who you're thinking.
No, you'll see.
Is it
okay?
I mean, I just don't think London will perform that well. That's why I didn't have Bernard in my mind. But yeah, I think Void Nevix is like a pretty solid tank equivalency for me. I think they're both going to get playing time. I'm not confident that Toronto's going to do that well as a team, but I mean, we'll see. That's actually one note we should talk about. The draft buff scores on averages. So if you play 2 matches in a week, it averages out the score that you receive from those 2 matches. So even if your team loses horribly one game and then excels the second game on a high noon platform, that'd be fine because you'd get your best game points. But on this one, it averages, so just keep that in mind. Okay. Anyway, next pick. Because we gotta get this thing moving.
Yeah, I like Nevix. He has no competition for his playing time, and he's just a nice dude to root for. The next pick is an auto draft, and they get Edison. That's a really fun pick. There's like questions about his playing time since they also picked up Sharp and Baby Bay is
Baby Bay,
not gonna play. But
I don't know, but I'm really high on Baby Bay, like way more than most. I like him. I like him a lot.
I'm high on Edison. And I'm higher on Sharp than Baby Bay, probably.
Yeah.
All right, so now it's my pick, and I actually get my
Michelle
4th ranked tank. Yeah, I have Michelle at 4th among tanks. I think
good pick.
I think he's talented, and I don't think he has competition. Yeah, I'm just very happy to have that. That makes my team feel really comfortable. Now I just needed a last DPS in my starting lineup is set.
He is a great consistency pick. Like I think that makes a lot of sense.
And I just think that team's going to be better this year. All right, then this person is at the turn, and they get Fitz and Highlight. So Michelle's teammates are just getting picked up immediately after. The Highly pick is interesting because that team is weird, and he might lose playing time to Krillin, but nobody knows. Now it's back to me. And I think this is my opportunity to go for another DPS, my second DPS, and this is a tough one. I either go with my heart or the power of anime. And that's just a tough choice to make.
Don't do the power of anime. Do your heart. Don't do the power of anime.
Power of anime.
No. No, please don't take him from me.
I think I have to go with the power of anime. I don't really want to. I'm just gonna do it. I gotta take Surefour.
Eat poop, Tepoyama.
I just think like he's a little like I don't want to feel like an e-thought by having him on my team, but Surefour is the man. I really admire like the way he grinded a Widow from being complete trash to actually being elite. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and grab
average, but okay, fine, whatever. Average to elite.
He became
average to elite.
Trash, and then he became elite.
No, not trash. Anyway, just do the next draft.
Yeah, so I got Surefour, and then now we're auto drafting for this next FOWL. And they get Ellie Vote. Ellie Vote's actually a really fun pick. I think they could provide a ton of value among the tanks.
Yeah.
And then now we're on to Heaps again.
Yes. So for my pick, I need another DPS. Since you took Surefour for me, I was waffling between him and this person, I'm gonna be choosing Doha of the Dallas Fuel.
Fun.
Again, there's risks of playing time here, but I do think that he plays the characters that will be earning you a lot of fantasy points. Also, I didn't have a Fuel player on my team so far, and I'm like a huge advocate of like spreading your net wide amongst teams, and I currently don't
Oh,
have
smart.
any repeats. So like I'm pretty happy with that team. Like I think I'll be doing well in terms of season overall. But okay, that's my pick. All right, so it's Mr. Roboto is up next.
Yeah. So Mr. Roboto also gets auto drafted, and they get Hanbin for the Paris Eternal.
Cool. Good pick.
Also could be a good pick. It's one of those like mystery bag picks. You don't know what you're gonna get until the season starts.
Yeah, little Kinder surprise.
Yeah.
All right, I am going to go with another rook this year. Let me click him. I'm gonna go with Yaki.
Ooh,
Ooh,
Mayhem.
love that.
It
Yeah.
won't select him though.
If
so-
Mayhem's good, he's gonna score insanely well.
Yeah.
That's just a pretty big if, though. So.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he leaves the. I don't think he leaves the play field. I think he seems like an auto pick for me. So if I were Mayhem, you'd leave him out. And we'll see. I mean, he's gonna get playtime. So.
All right, cool. I like it. All right, we got two more, really 4 auto drafts in a row here. So.
All right, here we go. I'm going through them quick. Team Tinfoil. They get Bernard.
All right,
Also
that's a good pick, though. I mean,
Yeah.
but London, there's so many question marks around London if they're going to succeed or not. So.
Still a good pick. And then the last, pretty much the last of the flex support options, Gargoyle goes to the next one. And then they're at the turn, I
Flex
believe.
tanks. Yeah.
Flex tank, sorry. They're at the turn, and then they get also with their next pick. So they're just racking up the tanks who are likely to get playing time.
Yeah, that's huge.
Which is just a note on how quickly
tanks go.
People tanks just can run. And then the next one gets Brucin, who I think is going to get all the playing time instead of Mufin, but that's another day.
Yeah.
Talk for another day.
Well, especially because Mufin's a
we're on
2-way
to A-Smith.
contract, so that makes a lot of sense.
All right. I am going to go with another tank, but I'm going with a main tank, and that is Gushui.
Oh, okay.
I think one of the only main tanks that's really going to be worth having because he just tends to rack up points for some reason.
Eliminations, man.
And hey, man, if this pick ban thing goes, or if Reinhardt or Orisa gets banned, we see the return of Winston.
Oh, I hope.
Gushui Winston. Oh, my heart is happy.
All right.
All right. Next is an auto draft, and they get McGravy.
Okay.
I don't really want to watch the Valiant play that much this year, so I don't care.
Who does?
Potato time. All right.
And then now Heaves is up.
Yeah. Okay. So I am up, and I really want to take a shock DPS because like now we're filling bench spots, right? So this is where you can start being a little more risky in your picks. However, I'm not going to take a shock. I am actually going to go for Happy of the Charge.
You son of a gun.
I think this is a huge, like, bench player. Like, I think this is a massive scorer.
No, that's great.
If a hit scan meta does come up, I think it's a big pick. And I'm also never, like, sad about taking out one of my starters to put him in if, like, they have, like, a bye week or something. Like, Happy's a consistent player, so.
No, Happy's great. I have him as a top 10 DPS this season, so that's a really good pick.
That's a little ridiculous, but I think he's really good.
No, his playing time is pretty much locked up. Like, Eileen's not going to take time from him. I don't think.
Sombra Farah. Anyway.
All right, the next one is Jerry 2020, and they get this is a fun pick as well. They get KSF from the Valiant, pretty much the only player I'm down to watch on the Valiant. So yeah, that's a good pick. Then it's on to me, and I'm just gonna I get to take somebody I wanted to take much earlier that I was debating on, and that's Kyo.
Oh wow.
Kyo this late is a great bench spot. If the Chengdu Hunters are good this year, then Kyo can become a top tier player. So this is just a huge pick. I'm really happy with it.
Yeah, it's a good pick.
And then at the turn, play Dia, you cowards will get Ba-ba-ba. Stratus and Birdring. The Stratus pick I'm not high on, but the Birdring pick I like because I think Birdring could have a nice, fun redemption story this year. Then we are back to me.
All right.
Hello. And last 3 picks, so it's kind of an interesting spot here. I'm definitely torn on what I want to do. I know I want to take a DPS because I've got a lot of talent at tank and flex, or enough talent. But it's let me see. Okay, I'm gonna go for playing time here. And I'm gonna grab Saya player.
Okay.
I think Saya player takes the 1 spot, and then BQB and I think that's his name,
And
and
Yaki.
Yaki take that next spot. So I'm just happy to have Saya player. I think that's a fun pick. And he's nasty. Auto draft for the next one, Jerry 2020, and they get Color Hex. I think the draft buff is betting on Color Hex getting playing time for the Uprising, but as we all know, there's somebody gunning for that playing time.
Is Jerry flex, or is he a
He is hit scan, but
So,
he can do
I mean-
everything. The legend rises. The legend
Okay.
rises, and it can only grow.
Fair enough.
All right.
All
Is
right,
it
we're
my
on to
pick?
Heaves. Yeah.
All right. Well, sticking true to my bets, I am picking up Logix as a bench spot DPS. I don't know. It's just going to be easy for me to track how many points he gets each week if he's on my team. I can just see it. It just makes a lot
You're
of
just
sense.
gonna start losing weight in anticipation of these waffles.
Yes, exactly.
I don't even think I have Logix ranked.
I don't think he was on this.
Oh, there
Anyway.
you have it.
Either.
Okay, that's pretty funny. All right,
Yeah.
the next one goes to a robot, and they get Luffy.
All right.
That's like a fun gamble, just because if anything happens to Izayaki, then Luffy becomes a top player. We're on to A Smith.
I am going to go with another DPS. What? Why does it have? Sorry, I just saw Taimu and I was like, why is he in here? He's not even in the league. What are we doing?
Old APIs. Dude.
Yeah, I was like, where are we at? I am going to go with a sleeper pick here for Shanghai, and I'm gonna go with Diem.
Okay.
I think he could get himself a lot of good playing time. This guy's he's a pro. He's legit really good. So
did Diem go before Fleta?
Yeah, I've been dying to get Fleta, but I've just been waiting on it.
Fleta and Ding are both low.
Still on the board. Ding is
on the board. It's crazy that Shanghai.
Ding is the one that I'm highest on, I think. Yeah, but if I remember correctly, Diem was in your top 10. So
yeah, I really like Diem. I think he has the skill.
The next 2 get auto drafted, and they actually follow pretty much our general consensus, and that's Hotba and Bianca. Bianca first, and then Hotba, and they're just. It's hard to know which of them is going to get the playing time. So taking that gamble by getting either of them in round 9 just makes sense.
Yeah.
And then next off the board is Ryu Jae Hong. I think that's a little too high for him. I'd rather get somebody with more upside, but Ryu Jae Sexy is the man, so we'll see. And then speaking of upside, Krillin goes next, and Krillin
that was actually going to be one of my picks.
Yeah,
that's a fun pick. I think he's going to get that job, but who knows?
You never know. I mean, Highly and Krillin are both tied. Well, now that all of the flex supports are gone, I am going to go with the main support.
Oh, interesting.
I'm going to go with the boy Funny Astro, another rook. I think he's the only main. I'm having trouble selecting. He's the only main support on this team, and why not? I mean, they're gonna be good. So,
got you. All right, next one is a auto draft, and they get Rascal.
I think it's a
fun pick.
I think it's a good pick. I have thoughts on Rascal. But
then you can take another shock DPS right now. Your opportunity has arrived.
It has. but I am so worried about them. But I think I have to stick true to my guns. I'm gonna grab Architect. I'm gonna grab Architect for the San Francisco Shock.
Okay.
I think versatility. I think that him and Rascal are the two most versatile. So playtime wise, I have a little bit of faith in Architect actually seeing a decent amount. So
I dig that. Jerry 2020 is up, and they take another shock DPS. That's Striker.
wow, 3 shock DPS in a row.
Yeah, exactly. All right, then I'm up, and I have to. You know what? Let me look at the auto draft to see which of these guys won't drop to me.
Oh, that's
Turns
cheating.
out
That's cheating.
they will both drop to me. You know, you got to know. Rule number 1: know your league. All right.
Know how
so
many bots you have in
my
your league.
my next 2 spots are pretty much taken. I know who I'm going for.
All right.
First I'm going to take Dante. I think he gets all that playing time for the Outlaws. They're a weird team, but Dante is a talented guy.
I
Then
disagree.
auto draft will give. I mean, but name who else can play like the quick twitch characters on that team.
Oh,
You know?
nobody. But I think that there's a world
Exactly.
where Link's or Blase is like a viable comp. So
Ew. Get that away from me. All right. The next dude goes at the turn, and actually, this is fun. I like at the turn they get Ding and then Soman Su, and I
ooh,
think those are
yeah.
both good picks
could be-
because both of them could be really valuable. And this is on the last. Now we're on to the last round. So
Okay, yeah, final round of picks.
why won't it let me pick them? There we go. Oh,
Uh-oh.
You okay?
interesting. So
It never took enough.
auto draft kind of messed it up. So that person, it turns out if you auto draft, you can be drafted the wrong role. So this person doesn't have a second starting tank.
Okay.
So that's good to know because
they're hitting the waiver wire immediately.
you shouldn't only draft DPS because this means they're gonna have to drop one of these guys.
Okay, well,
right.
good to know.
Now we're on to me, a person with a full starting lineup, and yeah, I'm gonna go for it. I think there's a few picks who could be really fun here. Oh, I'm not taking Jerry. That's not right.
Yeah,
that's what I picked. Logics. You gotta pick Jerry.
You gotta go Jerry here.
I can't
Last
do
round.
it. He has to earn it, dude.
Wait, did
I
someone
gotta
say
go,
coldest already?
I don't think so.
Well, why is he not on here? Maybe I gotta go
How
to
much
all.
playing time is Fleta gonna lose? All of the playing time?
Potentially. There he is.
You know what? I'm just gonna go with a little hometown pride. Has Nene been picked?
Nope.
Mm-mm.
Also, what an insane way to pronounce that name.
Nene?
Nene.
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 Yeah.
Nini.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Nini.
All right.
It's fun. I think he's the best hit scan on that team by far. So I like it. All right. Then Jerry 2020. Oh, we'll give them Jerry.
Yeah, they get Jerry. This seems like a crime.
No,
I'm not.
We'll follow the auto draft. They'll get they get a Blase.
For how much trash has been thrown around about Jerry this episode, we have not actually seen him drafted. All right.
That's not right.
Well, I'm up for my final pick of the draft. I'm going to be taking Coldest of the Hangzhou Spark. I think for my final bench slot, it's a pretty decent pick of like a maybe could be playing and maybe could be god tier character or player. So that's why he's up there.
Auto draft gets this next person. Who knows how to pronounce this? XZI Z.
Okay.
Z.
Cool.
And then A Smith is up.
A Smith, what's your final pick?
I'm gonna go with a handcuff here on this one. Since I took DM, I am also going to take Fleta.
Okay.
Oh, I like that. I think that's a good call. That's actually, yeah, I was too wussy to take Fleta because I was worried about the playing time, but that's a good way to cover your bases.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, and whichever one decides, is not playing, drop him.
Fair enough.
And then the last pick of the draft will be per auto draft Bazzi.
There's 2 picks.
Are there 2 picks?
Yeah, it's Bazzi and then one more person.
Last 2. Bazzi and then oh, it's agilities. That's fun.
Hey, that's what he's made it.
Yeah, I think it's a reasonable pick.
All right, so then bada bing, bada boom, the draft is done.
All
Should we
right.
go over our teams real quick?
Yeah, I think going over each one of our teams is a really good idea. So,
Yeah.
have you made the final pick yet for PB is so hot?
Yeah. Everybody's picks are in.
Okay. So let's go back to mock drafts. Can I see my team now? Ba-ba-da. I can. Awesome. Okay. Who wants to go first?
I don't care.
Ace
We
was on
can
the
go
phone,
in.
so let's do. Teo, why don't you go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. So I picked second, and I took Violet. So right now my starting lineup is Godsby, Surefour, Choyobin, Michelle, Violet, Kareev, and Gray.
Okay.
The only question mark for me out of that lineup is Gray. I think the rest are just going to be all stars. And then
You're so
but
high on Kareev.
I'm super. It's just going to be
I
so
think Kareev's
fun.
gonna be good.
Yeah, it's just gonna
I
be
think it's a
really
good
fun
pick.
rooting for him.
Alright.
Toronto's gonna be playing on all mojo, and Kareev is literally just pure mojo.
Okay.
And then on the bench I have Kyo, Saya player, Dante, and Nene. I'm gonna probably if we were playing this league, I would probably end up dropping Nene, or I don't know how to pronounce it, for Jerry or somebody with a lower floor but higher upside.
Okay.
But I think at the end of the draft, I wanted to take a gamble on just a really talented hit scan on a top tier team.
Cool.
Fair enough.
All right. A Smith, talk to me about your team.
All right, I've got Erster and Leave in my DPS spots. I've got Krong and Mego in my tank spots. Twilight and Unko in my support spots. Yaki in my utility spot, and then I've got Gushue, Funny Astro, and then I've got the handcuff of Diem and Fleta. It's a really solid team. I think my DPS are probably my strongest suit here, but my two starting tanks are bonkers. Krong and Meko, I think, are really, really good tank duo. And Twilight and Unko basically should have their spots locked up. So it's two good, supports. And then you've got such a high upside with Yaki and Leave that you don't know where it's going to go. And if both of them crash out, you still have the handcuff of Diem and Fleta. So I feel pretty confident, and I don't really have any repeats on teams other than Diem and Fleta. So it felt like a very spread out draft. It's it doesn't feel super it doesn't feel like the strongest on paper, but it feels like such a very good balanced team that I'm gonna get points regardless.
I was actually just gonna say I might be most confident about your team. Like out of the three of us, like I would be.
I'm definitely not. You're starting a DPS in your utility spot, and I think that will be your undoing.
I think that
and you have a main support and a main tank on your team. And Leave, who's not guaranteed to play.
Oh, I think Leave is guaranteed to play.
I think Leave's got
most confident in my team. But we're gonna do it. We're gonna do a Twitter poll, and then we're gonna find out what the people think.
All right. So my team, I have Libero and Doha, Nevix and Void, and then Alarm, Dogman, and Bedosin.
Love that.
I'm easily most confident in my support lineup. Like I think I'm really set there. Tank lineup, I think I'm okay. I think Nivix and Void will put up good points. Void, if only for the virtue of his team doing well. I think Shanghai's going to do well. Libero and Doha, though, way less confident in. And my bench DPS, I have 3 of them because of my concern, but I'm not even more confident of them. I have Happy, Logix, and Architect. So because of my concerns,
Happy's an easy start.
Yeah, I would probably swap him out for. But it's just and then I also have Coldest on my bench as well, just in case he pops off. We'll see.
Upside. I should have taken Coldest over Funny Astro. I just did see him in the ranking. He was so low.
Yeah, it's all good. Okay, well, I think that brings us to a close. We went a little bit longer than we normally do, but not too bad, just over an hour a bit. So, but thanks for listening, everybody, to our Foul Play. This was a mock draft on Draft Buff. We won't be keeping you updated with these kind of scores because we won't be actually playing this league, but we will.
Or should we?
Or should we? I don't know. Yet to be decided, I guess. But make sure that you let us know on Twitter, on Discord, what you think of this mock draft. We'll have pictures put up and everything.
And we'll have a poll.
Teams. Yeah, we'll have a Twitter poll.
Vote for A. Smith.
Yeah, hashtag vote for Hebe. And
vote for me.
Yeah. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Good luck in your drafts this week. Make sure you hit us up if you want to be drafting or make leagues in the Foul Play Discord. And guys, if you're playing on Draft Buff, make sure that you're using code Foul Play, all caps, no spaces, when signing up to help support the show. But other than that, I think just yeah, follow us on Twitter. Oh, that is the cutest child in the world. Oh my word.
Oh my god. Let's go, little one.
Baby A. Smith has entered the chat, guys.
That is true.
Baby A. Smith. I'm drafting. I'm getting rid of Nene.
Yeah. Hey, my waiver wire request is also for him. So, okay.
There we go.
All right. Well, thanks for listening, guys. We'll catch you next week, and good luck in your drafts. See ya.
Say bye.
All right, kind of. All right, see ya.